This is my old MacBook Pro, and these are the screws from it. The screws are out of it because it was sitting here on the table, and then mysteriously it was full of water and covered in water, and nobody knows when the water got spilled in it, so it may have been like that for days or maybe just half an hour. But either way, this is the SSD. I'll put a link to the video where we upgraded it, and this is what we're dealing with now. Yeah, not great. So this doesn't work anymore, obviously. At the moment anyway. It's going to go to the insurers to have a look and see if they can sort it or if it's going to be replaced or what. Because the price to replace the logic board, which, you know, if you can do a water damage repair on that, Lewis Rossmann, the Rossmann Group, can you do a water damage repair on this? Or would you just throw it in the bin? Or maybe just replace the logic board? Who knows? But this is a 2008 MacBook Pro, so I'm not sure if you can even buy logic boards for it from, you know, a good supplier anymore. In the top it looks alright, doesn't look like it's damaged at all, does it? But obviously you're not getting any power out of that. So I reckon everything's probably damaged on it. It was covered in water, like the top was dry, but when you picked it up the water was pouring out the sides here and the sides here. Not great. So let's get to this in a minute. So I decided I'll use this one again. Now just wait. Keep your eye on this. This is a MacBook that I bought. I've also done an SSD upgrade on this one, so I'll link that one up there as well, and you'll be able to see the doings for that. So I started using this one, and then I rather quickly stopped again. I say rather quickly because it took me quite a while to actually decide that it wasn't worth going any further with it. So let's see. Still nothing there. That's been on for ages now. Crawling along. Now this it's a MacBook obviously, but inside it doesn't have an SSD. It has just a regular hard drive, which is running what's it running? High Sierra, and it's slow. I did boot this up, 2 days ago, so it's been on all night to catch up with itself and all that, download all its updates, upload all its iCloud stuff, but it's still just ridiculously slow. We'll wait and see how long it takes to come on. So one of the main reasons for me putting the SSD in here was that the insurance company won't let me take it out of the computer of the MacBook Pro before I send it off to be checked out by their whoever it is that checks them out. So I'm not really a fan of that. It's got my photos on it and stuff like that. Stuff that I just, would you send your stuff away to someone else just to rifle through? Would you send your file in the house that's got all your bills and your driver's license and all that in it? Would you just send that off to someone and say, have a look at it? I don't think so. The insurance company even asked me, now this one's got High Sierra, and on High Sierra it had the option to use your iCloud password as the computer password, which I did. And they said to me, what's the password for the laptop? And I said, well, that's my iCloud password, I'm not telling you that. And they weren't happy with that. They want the password for the laptop. They want access to your hard drive. You're not allowed to take your hard drive out. You're allowed to take it out and back it up, but you're not allowed to take it out and keep it. They'll send it back to you when they're finished. So what they're saying is that when it's fixed, they want to get onto your computer and have a good rifle through all your stuff to make sure the computer's working. Surely if the computer starts up after it's been doused in water, you're on a winner. Right, here we go, that's on now. I think that must have took a good few minutes. but we're still not even in yet. Yeah, back to what I was saying. Because they want me to send the SSD, and that's got all my bills and my bank details and copies of my passport and my driver's license, and I don't know where it's going. I've never heard of these guys before. What I'm going to do is put the firewall up, encrypt it with a firewall so that it's just safe, and not tell them the password for that either. Right, this is just what I was doing last time. I was on here. I was looking through these pictures from my camera, 25 megabyte JPEGs, and they took maybe 4 minutes to load one if it was running good. But as you can see, this thing is just unusable. It's not even like you could just say, "Oh, just use it for the internet," because it's just what took half an hour to start up. It's just rubbish. It's no good anymore. Well, I say that. Anyway, I say it's no good anymore, but the problem is that it's still got this janky old hard drive in it. So let's get that out, and I'll show you. I was pleasantly surprised when I put the SSD in it. And usually when I do an SSD speed test video, I'm doing it with a brand new installation of the operating system. So you might know yourself, when you reinstall your operating system, whether it's Mac or Windows, when you do that, it kind of always speeds it up a bit anyway. But that doesn't take anything away from the SSD speed comparison videos that I've done, because there is a good improvement in the speed, even where it is a fresh installation and all that. But the speed increase that you get is far beyond anything you'd get just by doing a new install, and that's what I wanted to show you today, because this SSD has been alive and running in that MacBook for 3 years. So this has got an established, mature operating system on it, which has been used. It's got files all over the place. It's all full of junk, as you would expect. So we'll put it in here. I think it's High Sierra as well. It must be, because I think that's the last one that this uses. Anyway, it doesn't really matter what it is, whether it was Mac or Windows. You can see how slow this old Hitachi hard drive was. And I'm not sure, this could just be on its way out and that's why it's going so slow, but I don't think so. I think it's just because it's a hard drive. And let's just have a look how we get on now with the SSD. Now, I've not done anything. This has been going the whole time. All I've done is taken the hard drive out of that computer. I'd already taken it out to do the firewall thing, which has been running. This is an almost 10-year-old computer, and it's going into this one when the SSD has been in use. So, it's not a brand new SSD. We're not installing Mac. It's already installed on there. We're just switching out into this one and seeing what happens. Now, also, there's some things that happen when you do that, because the operating system is configured to work with a MacBook Pro. See how quick that came up there? So this is the firewall thing, so we want to do this first. Where was it there? Yeah, so it's configured to work with a MacBook Pro, but this isn't too far away from a MacBook Pro. It's the same pretty much, apart from it doesn't have some of the slots. It doesn't have the SD card slot. And the Mac OS seems to be pretty good at just getting on with it, and it did have a problem with the keychain stuff, but managed to sort that out once it was online and signed into iCloud. It sorted that out itself. So this is what we wanted. Now it's decrypting the hard drive, or decrypting the files that it needs to load, and then bang, we're in, and that didn't take any time at all. Compared to the other one, we've had to stop to put in the firewall password, but that's it. And now we're in, and we can load up a picture in no time. This is much, much quicker than what it was on this old hard drive. Now it's the same. We'll just check. This one was High Sierra, and this one is well, this one's just Sierra. So you know, it was the next version up, but it's only a small upgrade. High Sierra to Sierra. That's not going to cause that sort of slowing down. But yeah, that's like, it's just a ridiculous speed improvement from hard drive to SSD with, as you can see, an established SSD here. I've been using this for 3 years on that iMac, and just stick it in here, and it speeds this computer up ridiculously quickly. And it's a quite small SSD as well. It's only 120 gig or something. 120 gig, yeah. So that's pretty much all I wanted to show you today. Now I've got to take it back out and stick it back in that one so that they can take it away and decide whether or not they're going to repair it or replace it, which they're coming to do today. Coming to take it away. DPD man will take it away today. So we'll just put this back together now and be done with it. Whoops. Just disconnect that battery first this time, because make sure it's off. So it would have been good to be able to keep a hold of the SSD, because then I could have actually had a laptop to use while it was away, because this one is very usable with a SSD in it. Some people they wouldn't pick up an older MacBook because they say it'll be slow, it doesn't accept upgrades, but you know, this one's on Sierra. Sierra's relevant, and if it's that fast at starting, you know, if you can pick up I picked up this MacBook for maybe £100 or something. It's missing this rubber foot bit off the bottom, but that's good for me anyway, because I'm always inside them, so the rubber foot bit would have soon perished. So we'll just put these screws back in, and then we'll get the SSD back into the destroyed one. Maybe have a wee look at that as well, just to see what level of destroyed we can see, and I'll keep you updated with what happens with the insurance company. Obviously, I'm a computer fixer guy. I could fix it, but I didn't see a logic board for under £500, and even then, not sure if it was. Well, we don't know what else. So I could go and spend £500 on a logic board. The battery's probably knackered as well. You can see the contact there on the battery. It's all corroded. So it needs a new battery. That's about another £80. There's almost certainly water in here, in the CD drive, which doesn't really matter because it never had a CD drive in it for most of its life. Look, this somehow survived. Not sure how that happened, but it is pretty well sealed, I guess. There's no sign of any corrosion or anything on that. The fan's going to be knackered. You can see the plug for the fan here, all corroded, so that's going to need replaced. All these ribbon cables will need replaced. They're all corroded as well. Well, maybe not all of them, that one certainly wasn't. And the keyboard's probably knackered, the screen's probably knackered. So, you know, I could start by spending £500 on a logic board and plug it in, and still nothing happens. Probably need a new MagSafe board, which is going to be like another £20. So by the time I was finished, it would have been a new laptop anyway. Especially if it needs a new screen and keyboard, you might as well just buy a new one, or buy a second-hand one. But we'll see what the insurance company says. They might be able to do some deals on getting these parts. They might have the parts at the repair centre. We shall see. That's that. I'll keep you updated with how it goes with the insurance company, and come back soon and see what happened with that. If you liked that video, give it a like and a subscribe.